We were an hour and 45 minutes into the 3-hour program at the point that match number 3 comes up, and it's Alexa Bliss against Nikki Ass. Are they trying to compete with AEW's Outlaw Japanese Girls here by finding the hokiest outfit and the tiniest woman they can to compete against each other? I fast forwarded and I got to Cody and Miz because they had the Cody countdown at the top of the program, 1 hour and 53 minutes from here. So here's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. With the Cody countdown, how do they know? How do they know that all these matches are going to end and all these unscheduled interactions and street riots and attempted homicides and everything? How are they going to end right at an hour and 53 minutes from now so Cody will be on the way to the ring? Did you ever think about that, Brian?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But with Cody, you have to ignore sense when looking at his booking. So it makes perfect sense in that respect.
Well, this is what I timed. At an hour and 53 minutes into the program, Cody's music starts and he comes out. Here his entrance starts, right? And he gets about a 2-minute entrance, which is very brief these days for the WWE. And at 1:55 into the show, 2 minutes later, they go to the break. So he gets a 2-minute entrance. They go to a 3-minute break. When they come back, it's a package from last week of Becky Lynch and Oscar and the Mist and the Bianca and the whole 9 yards. And then they go to a backstage promo with Oscar talking about Becky tonight. And once again, this is so offensive. What human being is she being portrayed as? A simpleton, as someone who's developmentally challenged, and she has the cognitive ability, intellectual capability of a 7-year-old? Or is it because English is her second language? Obviously, she went to some fucking horrible place to learn how to speak English, and they ribbed her and taught her that. Why does she act this way, Brian?
I can't explain why, but I would say if you need help trying to understand it, try to look at it like she's the granddaughter of the great Kabuki.
Kabuki didn't do that.
I know, she's the granddaughter. Look at these kids today.
Anyway, as a matter of fact, none of the Asian talents, Professor Tanaka, Mr. Fuji, anybody, Tojo Yamamoto, anybody in the territory days were as stereotypical and as racist and as offensive to that particular ethnic group as the way that all of the companies have these girls acting these days. And somehow, can you imagine if they'd have been doing the equivalent for the African-American talent or the Hispanic talent? They didn't have, when they had Crime Time literally admitting they were stealing things from people on the street, or when they had Eddie Guerrero, he lies, he cheats, he steals, he still didn't talk like a simpleton with brain damage. All right.
That is what Vince likes.
What, simpletons with brain damage?
Well, people talking like that.
Hired a few of them for his creative.
No, seriously, he likes that. He likes midgets that act like children, and every foreigner acts like they're mentally challenged. I mean, this is what Vince McMahon likes. There's a long track record of it.
Well, anyway, but where we were headed with this was the timing. Cody's entrance at an hour 53 into the program. He gets 2 minutes. They go to a 3-minute break. They come back and they spend 3 minutes on Oscar's business. It doesn't have anything to do with Cody. And then finally, 2 hours and 1 minute, 8 minutes after Cody started entering, they go back to the ring and he's still standing there. His entrance was 8 minutes ago. Does he have to stand there in front of the people in the building and they're just watching him stand there? So the Miz entrance, and they were really rushing because he only got 2 minutes for the entrance. So basically it was only a 10-minute segment between the time Cody started and the time Miz got in the ring and the bell rang. And it match. What can I say about this match? We've gone over Cody at length. This is his environment. His work is very good, and he's a sports entertainer. And he's about to be, or he is, the top babyface in the world's biggest promotion. I've not liked Miz really ever, but after what we've already seen on this show up till now, and just the fact that somebody's doing something, it's looked like Funk and Briscoe. But did you notice this, Brett? Random observations. I said, Miz starts the heat on Cody so they can go to the break, right? Cody's laying there selling on the floor or whatever. And they immediately go to a spot for Mr. and Mrs. Miz, the reality show where the heel in the match that we're watching is playing patty cake on the phone with his baby and carrying his baby around in his arms. Can you imagine when fucking, I don't know, when Stan Hansen had broken Bruno's neck and the rematch was coming up in Shea Stadium, if they'd had a picture of Stan Hansen changing his baby's diapers with a parakeet on his shoulder.
What a heel move. You're working a match against Cody and you put a commercial for your reality show there? That's a great heel move.
Oh, yeah, that'll get him that's killing heat right there. If I was him, Miz, I'd hire security. He might be stabbed over this. Anyway, they come back, and Cody made his comeback and got the figure 4, and Miz got a rope break and rolled out on the floor, and Cody goes to the top. He's going to do that blind moonsault again. Him, Adam Page, what? If you can do it, would you just look over your shoulder? That would make it look a lot less phony. But he's going to do that, but guess what happens? Seth Rollins runs out because his back is turned, just puts a hand in his ass and shoves him off the top rope. And ding, 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 there's a DQ, just out of nowhere. So now we've got, obviously, it's Seth and Cody at Hell in a Cell, And
that'll be good. That'll be good. Yeah.
That'll be good. But but their finishes just come out of nowhere. They think they're building to them, but there's no chaos like in an Eddie Graham or a Dusty Rhodes finish.
Well, let me ask you this.
Ahead.
First of all, you have to give Vince's approval on anything that's going to be on that show, and he may even just put his little spin on it. But beyond that, who's the great finish guy there? Who's the guy in WWE right now that you know of that can give a good finish?
Well, that may be a problem.
You spent a lot of time in locker rooms with a lot of guys that had a lot of great finishes.
Well, all right. Good point there. You got a point there, kid, but if you comb your hair right, nobody will notice it.
The Miz is growing on me. He did a promo before this match. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
It was good. He said Cody has more pyro than the 4th of July.
Well, and that's just on his robe. But he got pushed off the top, the disqualification, 2-on-1 on the floor. And did you notice there's the female referee? There's 2 heels kicking the shit out of the babyface after the match on the floor. Obviously not legal. The referee is standing there on the floor watching them do it. And just as I noticed that, well, how much more useless can you be or look like or be made to look? They actually grabbed Cody and threw him into the referee that was standing there, and she ran away. It's like it running a cop off a street corner when you're doing a mugging. Oh, shit, I better get out of here. These fucking guys are serious. Me run call for backup, which never came. So then Seth goes at a glacial pace, the overly milked WWE, where nobody's coming to help. Nobody's trying to stop it. It doesn't seem like it's urgent, so why shouldn't they take their time? And he goes over and snatches Cody's weight belt from the little kid that he had given it to in his entrance, and comes over and whips Cody one real good lick with it. At least it wasn't a sledgehammer. They use sledgehammers and baseball bats 8 times, 10 times. But the weight belt that you could really light somebody up with 4 or 5 times and leave some nice money. One shot with that. Okay. And then the heels walk off unmolested because the cops had better things to do, and so did all of Cody's friends, apparently. Are they going to tell the story every babyface in the company is jealous of Cody? Nobody wants to come help him. And then Cody gets up, dusts himself off, starts limping. He's got a strap mark on his back. He's selling the knee that went into the stairs. And he gets the weight belt, and on the way by, as he's limping by, he puts it back in front of the little kid. Now that was a perfect touch. That was Dusty all over the place. And the people are, oh, he gave it back to the kid. So that kind of shit, he's great with details and stuff like that. You're never going to see Cody teleport himself anywhere. So he's great with that shit. But if they would give these guys, the talent, some help by giving them the infrastructure to make a chaotic angle. When was a time that the Horsemen, the Midnight Express, and anybody were on Dusty Rhodes in the middle of the ring kicking the shit out of him, and there weren't referees being flung here and there weren't people trying to get in the ring and save, and there wasn't some kind of urgency going on?
A bell being rung?
A bell being rung. But now they're just doing this shit, and there's no jeopardy or urgency. And it's a performance that people are sitting and watching. You can't really get heat like that when it's not like, my God, he was saved, in the twinkling of an eye by a cat's whisker or whatever. It's like, well, they just finished doing what they were doing and left.